Hey everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of my Smith& Wesson 686 Plus up on the screen. As you can see, the trigger's all dark, so is the hammer. I really wasn't a fan of that, especially since the gun itself looks really nice. It's one uniform color, then with those brown grips, it really makes it stand out, at least to me. And then when I see the trigger, it just looks gross. When I looked at it the first time, I thought I could just wipe it off, so I didn't think too much about it. But when I got it home, I realized it's not, that's just the way the trigger is. For a long time, I just left it as is. Until recently, there was a topic brought up about triggers. And I looked at one that's made by Empire, but they unfortunately don't do triggers for all revolvers. They have specific ones that they do. If you've seen them, they're like really nice flat looking triggers that they have on some of their revolvers. Once I found out I couldn't get just another trigger to put in this gun with just a different, shape and material type, I decided to go ahead and polish the one that I have. I've never taken apart a Smith& Wesson before, so pretty much any revolver really. So this is going to be my first. All right, so this is the 686. I took it apart. This is my first time. I've never messed with revolvers. I see how dirty it is. I'm going to give that a quick wipe down before I put it all away. Again, this is my first time ever taking this down this far. I only went as far down as the trigger because that's the part I'm working on. I should have shown you a picture before, but it kind of looked like this. The trigger, I think you might have seen it in my other video. But this is what I have it looking like right now. All I'm doing, this is aluminum polish, mag and aluminum, but it says perfect for all metals. So I'm like, I've already had some of this, so let me try it. And it's doing pretty decent. Let me see if I can put some light on here. It was a lot worse. Like I said, it looked like this. So as you can see, it doesn't look like that anymore. I'm going to keep at it. All I'm doing is the little Dremel wheel. I have this smaller one. It's not very powerful, but it spins good enough. And the part I wanted to really get is in here. It's hard to tell with this lighting right now. Let me see. Shaking the camera. But I can tell it's got like a film as opposed to a nice shine like that. I was working on this side because all of this was the same brownish color as the hammer. I don't know if I'm going to try the hammer. It's got the little grip cutouts there, little checkering. So I'm not sure how that'll look, but I'll probably give it at least a quick try, if not just the very top of it right here. And try on that, but I'm not sure how good it's going to look. But I am going to try to keep doing this because with these grips, and then I ended up messing it up last time I took it out of the safe. That sucked. So with these grips and then this color gun, it really stands out when you have like an ugly brown trigger. So yeah, this is working out so far. It's, like I said, a lot better than what it was. We'll get there. I took it apart, did okay, put it all back together, and when I moved my items out of the way, I realized there was a spring that was just sitting on my desk. So I got to do a nice first practice run, then I had to disassemble it and figure out where that spring went, put it back in, and start the process all over again. So on a good note, I did get some practice in, and I'm more familiar with taking it down. I went as far as the trigger. I didn't do the cylinder release or the barrel or anything like that. I didn't even take out the cylinder itself, just up to the trigger, did what I had to do, put it all back together. So this is the final result. As you can see, it's no longer brown. I could have continued to go like a higher polish, but I didn't want to. I like the way it looks. I wanted it to match the gun, and I think it matches the gun right there. Same thing with the hammer. As you can see, I did do the underside of the hammer as well, just to make sure. I had the whole thing out, so might as well do it. I got in as far as I could. I wasn't going to kill myself trying to get it perfect. I just wanted it to be cleaner and to match the gun. I think I've accomplished that, so I'm very, very happy with the results. I'm not sure if you guys have one of these guns or something similar where the trigger just looks all just like rust almost, really. Some people like that rugged look. I do on some things, but not on a revolver, especially not one that I think is as nice as this. But this isn't bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I have no plans on doing this again or trying anything else different. I'm going to leave it as is. I could imagine it lasting for a pretty long time. without having to redo it. If I do have to redo it, at least now I have the practice. I know how to take it apart. It really wasn't hard. All I needed was a small screwdriver. The hardest part was taking out one of the springs, but once I figured out how to do it, it really wasn't bad at all. I was able to get it done within just a minute or two. So that was it. Everything else was just a little bit of the fear. Whenever you take something apart and then you see all these moving pieces in it, or just small parts that are only held with like basic friction, it's a little scary because if you drop one, didn't pay attention where it went, now you're looking up videos to find out where did this one piece come out of since you didn't get a chance to look. And I would recommend, if you do, make sure the part that has these screws is facing up. So when you take off the screws, don't then turn it down to try to take out the parts, because of course everything's going to fall out. You're not going to see where it went. So when you do take this apart, if you're holding it in your hand, right hand side faces up, so you could just disassemble everything and then just pull the pieces up. Everything will be on display there for you. Again, if you didn't know that, because I could imagine someone trying to just take out the screws and then just having this plate fall out. The first time you take it off, it shouldn't be falling out. Mine was pretty stiff. It was brand new. It was the first time anyone's taken it apart. So I did have to give it a little tap with, what did I use? I think I used my little brass hammer and a plastic dowel. I just kind of tapped on it, made it pop up. That was it. I didn't have to bang on it anything hard at all, but it didn't come off on its own. The second time when I had to go back in there because I forgot that spring, that time it still took a little wiggling, but it popped up a lot easier. So I think the very first time, don't be surprised if that little plate is a little stiff. Don't try to pry it open. You'll end up scratching it all up. It's best to just put something against it to kind of wedge it a little bit. Something that's not going to be metal, something that's not going to scratch it. Just give it a few taps and the vibrations will cause it to just pop off. As you can see, it's pretty flush on there, so it's a really tight fit, which is why it doesn't just come out right away or fall out when you take off the screws. This is the finished product, and I'm happy with it. Going to leave it just the way that it is. I was happy that I was able to get the hammer as clean as I was able to. There you go. I expected the hammer to be pretty decently polished, and I expected all these little serrations in here, these little checkered cuts. I expected them to be all like filled in with brown where I couldn't quite get in there. But no, it was able to go ahead and clean that up. No problems whatsoever. So just in case this is something that you want to do, it's very easy. Took a few minutes. It took me actually about an hour, but that's because I was taking my time. I've never done disassembly of a revolver before, so I had to look at video. When I did, even when I figured I'd have it down pretty good, I still wanted to make sure I didn't break anything, so I was being extra cautious. I'm sure if you don't have that concern, or maybe it's an older gun and aren't being as cautious, you could probably do this in like 30 minutes. Longer or less, depending on how good you are at polishing and how, happy you are with the first run or two of polishing the actual parts. You might be happy with your first once go over on it, or you might want to really get like a mirror finish and take all day to do it. It's really up to you. But this polish that I did, it took roughly about an hour from beginning to end, which I think is not that bad. I was sitting here watching the game while I was doing it. So definitely not something I would say you'd have to take to some sort of gunsmith. If you're cautious about messing with triggers, or if it's your only one, I could understand, being a little bit more cautious and just rather taking it to a gunsmith, not wanting to mess up your only revolver. But that's how you learn, not by messing them up, but by trying. Worst case, if for whatever reason you can't get it to come back into one solid working gun, you can always put the pieces together and then take them to someone. But I think even at a beginner level, this is something that you'll be able to take care of on your own with very minimal items. All I needed was a small screwdriver, a rag, and some of this polish. You could use whatever polish works best for you. This was one that was just a couple of dollars at Walmart. I don't recall what I used this for, but I had it there sitting under the sink, so figured might as well give it a try. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it looks better like this, or the way it originally came from Smith & Wesson?